God, that's freaky that this meeting is being recorded.
What?
Hey, everybody, Mark and Brandon.
Hey,
Sound like the Fonz.
that's still up there?
That's what she said.
Oh, it's my screen. Continue. There we go.
So today we're talking about one of the most important things most copywriters never think about. Brandon, have you, in your career experience, have you noticed in other copywriters' careers, they're like, I've written for this person, I've written for that person, but they never
I
told
don't know the data.
me.
Yep. Never heard anything happen to me so many times in the beginning.
Crickets. Well,
Yeah.
if you want to be accountable for your work, which you should, then you need to work with clients who know how to communicate and collaborate. And if you do, and we're going to get into that, if you do, then you're going to be able to respond to data because it's all going to be your media buyer, the ads manager, campaign manager, affiliate manager, the owner, everybody who needs to be involved to go over data, to analyze performance. And we're actually going to give specific numbers in a campaign right now with Lobby Labs. So there's some really specific stuff that breaks this down and makes it a lot more understandable, digestible, palatable, because understanding data and responding to it is one of the top job descriptions of a junior and senior copywriter, a copywriter, period. If you don't know how to respond to data, you're still becoming a copywriter.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really important to understand, because if you write something and it kind of works, well, you need to know how to optimize it. If it doesn't work, you need to know how to revise it or tweak it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's just there's no such thing as here you go, this is your copy. Doesn't work that way.
How can you judge your worth as a copywriter if you don't know the data on what you write?
You know how a lot of copywriters ask, what do I charge? All right, well, that's a great question. What's your worth?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I haven't converted anything for anybody, and the people that I have written for, they've never responded when I ask for data. Okay. So you are a yes person. You just kind of probably asked for instructions and delivered what was asked for, and you didn't lead.
Mm-hmm.
How can you respond to data if you're just following directions? You have no strategy to compare the numbers with.
A 1099 employee.
Yeah, exactly. So this is all about that shit we are covering. So working with clients who have the infrastructure, so many copywriters, I want a client. I need a client. I want to make money. I need to make money. And they're not specific. If you're going to work with somebody, you might as well work with somebody who is going to be able to take your copy and do something with it, rather than just taking somebody's money who, even if you write something that would convert in the right hands, it'll never do anything.
Starting out with email can be a way around this. You don't need a ton of infrastructure to properly send email, since a lot of email works where it's just like graphicless.
Or a
Right.
list can be rehabilitated, revived,
Right.
bibbed. So what is infrastructure? Infrastructure, first and foremost, is a good product,
A good offer.
good offer, something that works, something that gets, if you take it out of the direct response model and you put it into the social model, is it going to get people talking? Is it going to get positive comments, reviews, questions in a post, in an advertised thread? And by the way, that's really important for a copywriter to understand, that you can write direct response ads and they can perform really well, have a good CTR, good conversion, AOV, ROAS. But these days on Facebook, especially, the ads are going to fatigue quickly. And if you don't have somebody who knows how to manipulate the system and re-upload, fresh content in different ways, or the same content in fresh ways, your ads are going to fatigue quickly and all of your numbers are going to go to shit,
Yep. A good media buyer can make a campaign. A bad one
Well,
can
it's also
completely tank it.
understanding that, it's like even when I do a contract, or how I showed you to do a contract, it's like 5 Facebook ads, right? That's not even remotely the reality if you're working with a company that has real infrastructure and the ability to take care of you financially for your time
Mhm.
in the back. So, how much ad spend do your clients really need? Just quickly, I'm going to go over here. This is just the inside of the Google Analytics for YouTube. And you can see right here from May 8th to June 15th. Well, here's one ad that got about 10,000. This is the ROAS. It has a 1.34 ROAS. Now, if I take that and I go from, let's say, June 1st to June 15th, well, don't sting me, thanks. We see ROAS 1.29. So you can see here the ROAS is pretty small. There's one here with only 110 a day budget. Oopsie.
314
Has,
clicks.
that has a 3.94 ROAS. Now,
Mm.
because this is a young pixel, and this is also something that you as a copywriter need to understand, is that
Pixel maturing data AI learning.
yeah, the pixel is understanding your copy, your flow, and how the audience interacts with it. So at a small sample size like this, you can get a high ROAS. A 3.94 ROAS is like amazing. It's great. Scale that all day long.
Hmm.
Put money into that, and it typically comes down
Hmm.
because the sample size is bigger and it takes a while for the pixel to mature, to keep feeding, to keep refining the eyes that are exposed so that engagement goes up, conversions go up, CTR goes up, all that, everything goes up.
But
Wow.
Lavi has a pixel on their main site too, collecting info. Like people who add to cart, who buy.
They just got approved for a new pixel 2 days ago. Forgot what it's called. The name is escaping me. It's an important name. I forget it right now.
What does it
But
do?
it's much more optimized to collect all the data.
Right.
I was just in a media call just this morning before doing this. And the fact of the matter is, even with Hyros, which is supposed to catch all the undetected orders that have gone through but are not in this Google account,
Right.
turns out our ROAS is a lot higher than this in reality, because over 3/4 of the sales are not accounted for in these numbers right now,
Holy 3/4?
or
75%.
in these numbers, especially in the last couple of days.
And you discovered this because you started using Hyros? Like Hyros.
It's a combination of things.
Uh,
Yeah, it's a combination of Hyros, Google Sheets, getting the orders, and then loading it into Google so that it incorporates it into the Pixel.
hmm.
Attribution rate, the rate for it to show up is it is what it is.
Well, a bunch of techie reasons. Yeah.
And I mean, these are some of the best tech guys on this shit.
Wow.
I mean, this is not
This is an amateur hour, but they're still having troubles. Okay.
and again, this is what a copywriter has to deal with a young, immature pixel. But now, where we were underwater, we were $15,000 underwater. Now we've already recouped that money, so no more underwater. My costs as a copywriter up front have already been paid for, so I am now a self-liquidated asset.
All right. That brings us back to once you know how much you know your data, you know how much you're making your clients, then you can, with a straight face, offer $20,000, $30,000 up front because you know you're going to make them what, 200,000, and that's a great deal or more.
Data has been kept mystery from me. This is the first day that I've been actually into the Google account after asking for a month.
Yeah, bad mark. Well, oh, you were asking for a month, and
Yeah, they're Eastern European, just a different culture. It's just
uh,
I haven't cracked the nut, but when the owner asks, they respond right away.
They'll bite the hand that feeds them. No
Right.
shit.
They responded in 24 seconds, whereas my last request was 2 days ago, still no response.
Wow. It's like you got to work the channels.
This is important because I have, oh no, let's see. I have all of these videos, testimonial,
From the influencers.
different types of pre-roll, doctor face and voice, how to apply the product, how it feels. These are all things that I scripted, bullet pointed, and more than anything else asked for.
Wait, these were scripted, all of these?
This wasn't
Oh,
somebody coming to me and saying, hey Mark, can you do this for us? No, this was me saying, this is what I need you to do, and I'm gonna write it. Was I paid for that upfront? No, because I was paid handsomely upfront, but the back end is much more money. I want to do everything that I can to get to where we want to be fastest, right? So we have ads like this.
I recall I was in my late 50s. I got up in the morning, was in the bathroom, and I looked in the mirror, and I suddenly saw that I had wrinkles around my
Real user.
She's the one that just wants product in exchange. Because the product is that good. That's going back to the offer. Make sure you got a good offer. Otherwise, you're going to be banging your head against the wall.
But anyway, there's a bunch of stuff in here. But there's all these. Here's the mom of Sarah Lavi.
At almost 60, I'm aging more youthfully than I have in years.
She is 60 years old, like 58.
When I turned 55, I went from looking older.
She's a great spokesperson for the company. I mean, she looks great.
61 now?
Yeah, wow.
That moment when I really was not okay with my old-looking appearance.
That cream works.
Have some sense of control.
So these are all of these were made for pre-roll and for ads and for openings, and there's way more than that. I don't want to go through all my folders here.
Right.
But if I look here, you can see on pre-roll right here.
Yeah.
It's a full-length VSL. We're running the full-length VSL and pre-roll. Right?
And then you have it synced up with, what was it? Wistia, so you can check out where people are getting lost, where it's not resonating.
If I go, I just wanted to pull this up because I didn't have it. This is a VSL page that hasn't been tested yet. And I asked for a bunch of different designs. That wasn't finished. Now, here's why that's important. Right now, they're only testing long form. The only, I don't even,
So you want them to test short form or straight to a page?
Form, like 2-minute pre-roll going. Now, if I go to the landing pages, so the point of that is there's so many different things that need to be tested on the front. And because they were not collaborating and communicating, I'm only now seeing that the level of testing that they've been up to is
it's crap.
Minimal at best.
Wow.
Minimal at best. So we should be way farther now had I gotten a handle on this a month ago. So if we go over here to landing pages, right now.
Is this one landing page they're testing?
No. Here we go. Where are they all? Well, that's weird. Let's see. There we go. So these are all the landing pages that have been tested since the beginning. Now, when the Pixel was young, this was tested. A sales letter.
Right.
But they were doing full VSL pre-roll to
a sales letter,
which is not.
That's the dumbest thing. Are you kidding me?
So the numbers
Oh,
out of 39,000 impressions,
impression was garbage.
78. Well, it's not even giving us the other numbers here, but it didn't do well. But that was on a minimum budget. You can see, well, so far in this account,
50,000.
accounts, there's about 50,000 spent in the last month. So when we go back over here just real fast, how much do your clients really need? Well, here's that answer in real life.
Mhm.
This is not a copywriter estimating and trying to sound like a big shot. This is just how much it actually costs to do proper testing. If
On cold traffic. Yeah.
on cold traffic, ice cold traffic, if you want to build brands. So
If you got an email list, not as much. So maybe it's a good place to start.
email list of what I forgot. It was like 40 to 70,000, something like that. Not
Yeah, well,
that's like money on the table.
they haven't been doing much. They do have abandoned cart emails, but I think they can be done better from what I saw.
The
But
page
anyway,
doing the best on Facebook is this one.
oh my God, yeah.
And then it has edification from the doctor. Before and afters. Yep.
What you
Compliant.
get? Yeah, well, they get away with it. Well, it's not really getting away with it because the product is so good and people love it so much.
They've added on Facebook for if you get it approved, and especially working with a rep, you can do before and afters again.
Wow.
That was as of, I believe, February.
Wow.
Stay up to date. So this page doing really well on Facebook. Here it is. Well, we're not seeing the conversions, but these are the pages that have been tested. So very minimal. The page that is getting the most testing or the most conversions is this. So it's the long form VSL that goes to basically a glorified cart page.
E-commerce, but yeah. I mean,
so as a copywriter, when you're thinking about writing VSLs, you're not always thinking about it in the sense of that's the showcase. It might just be the pre-roll. And we have over here, you can see, the amount of views, the amount of testing, right? This one did a lot better, and it was at 19 minutes for pre-roll.
It's a copyright claim on it.
They are testing some pre-roll, but very minimally.
Wow,
And
that's incredible.
Yeah. So that's that. We'll put that to bed for now.
Yeah.
Going
back
here,
to the
understanding the dog whistle language of the market. It's I listen a lot to the top social influencers on YouTube because they're using the language that
right.
the audience is connected with. And
Right. Mark gleaned from them. One of them said mature skin. It's great for mature skin. He's like, oh, take that.
If you look at, this revised second VSL, I added certain things to the lead. I did that live the other day. This is actually what it ended up being, for anybody paying attention. And this is going to be Sarah again, right? Now, the script I'm working on right now is the doctor. Now, the doctor speaks horrible English. And I have done a lot of coaching. Again, as a copywriter, that's another job. You need to know how to lead people and giving the performance that you wrote in mind them giving. If you can't do that, then it's going to be difficult for them to give you what is needed for everything to convert. Do you see how in-depth it is? So on this one,
Just keeps going and going on that one.
We have the PhD, Harvard PhD,
Mhm.
cracks the collagen code, direct response. And this is going also integrating, as I've been listening, a lot of social influencers on YouTube talking about hormonal skin changes. So I've integrated perimenopause, menopause into the conversation, and then
Right.
created, this is just a mock-up in Canva, which we love, showing just the decline of collagen and why rapid aging occurs at 55 plus because
It's
of
good to include, isn't it, to have visual representations of the arguments and the ideas.
yeah. And then I opened the hook, which is FGF, fibroblast growth factor, because it's 5 growth factors. That's the mechanism that has microtechnology to penetrate into the actual fibroblasts. So I mean, that's like, as a copywriter, again, you need to be able to just be able to say what it is, boom, right? So lots of different testing going on, and then all of these have their full flows, right? Ads, advertorials, quizzes, upsells. So everything has a flow. It's not just you're not just Frankensteining. It has to be congruent. So that's kind of an understanding of dog whistle language, just to give you an idea of what I do on a surface level. You'll see,
Oh,
you've already seen Design Matters, but you've seen some of these pages I've just shown you, including this one right here. You know, I don't even consider this that pretty. Looks better on mobile, which is where the majority of conversions come from. That's also good for you to know. It doesn't have a click out to read, which we need to put on here. But that's just going to get more data. How to collaborate with media buyers. Right
we got a
here,
bunch of slides for that, by the way. I think slide 6.
but right here, I mean, this is just this morning, you
Is
know.
that
So
with the Eastern European media buyers?
no, this is with just the core team in Israel.
Gotcha.
We're
That
we're
was this morning.
going forward all day long, every day, and I love them because they do everything that I say. I mean, here's Gabby, the owner, sending me hearts.
Hearts. Yeah.
Well, and he loves what he's seeing because one of the key metrics we've talked about, you know, is going from 96% jars to 94% full jars.
Right.
Sample to 94%
I mean,
full jars.
Mark has radically transformed their business from it's like you're selling a fraction of your product to selling full jars completely. It's amazing.
Well, and it's all the things that we've just talked about. You know, I mean, one of the reasons why, you know, dog whistle, understanding the science mechanism, everybody else in the room, like we've talked about in the old webinars, you know, I immerse myself in that. And so I make sure that, you know, it's just like in this third one, integrating totally different things into the conversation, you know, like hormonal discoloration, women's faces because of perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause deal with, you know, like this yellowish, greenish, bluish kind of hue and tint in their overall skin tone. That's hormonal. And when we get this scientific youth technology into the fibroblasts, we're actually addressing all these things simultaneously. And in this one, Ram is going to introduce the mother-daughter story, which I'm still putting together because I spent a lot of time on the framing here on this lead to make sure it's everything that I wanted to hit. And then obviously I'm going to write all kinds of different leads to test against it. But
right. But in this lead in particular, he's hitting one, I mean, some social proof too. A lot of the new cause, all the alternatives that people have, how it works, why everything fails.
Just listen. The truth is, until you start collagen production, rapid visible aging is inevitable.
Yeah.
Collagen makes 75 to 80% of your skin. By only 60 years young, you've already lost 50% of your total type 1 collagen, if not way more. That's like a house losing half its structure. Imagine what your house would look like if half of it just suddenly disappeared. It would look a lot different, right? It all starts in your early 20s. Collagen slows down to a drip. It's like Mother Nature decided to almost completely turn the collagen faucet off. Then during perimenopause, your FGF skin cells introducing the hook, where fresh collagen is made, stop working forever, which goes into the mechanism and new cause of fibroblasts.
Right.
Um,
Rejuvenating.
turns collagen making cells off. That's the reason why visible aging accelerates after 50 years old. And I'm going to call this something different. I think that's
Collagen funnel effect. Yeah.
But so, that again, that's number 3. How to collaborate. Already, we're going to go through that a little bit more in a second. Keeping the owner's expectations in check. I'll talk about.
That's a conversation.
And the second aspect of it, which is interesting, also simultaneously setting the bar higher. So like the owner wants to hit 2 million. That's his next benchmark. Mine is 10. So, I'm keeping him in check on the small steps, which is why I need to be on top of all of this.
Yeah. So there's no roadblocks. 10 in what time frame?
10 months. $1 million a month is reasonable, and getting quick traction once we hit big numbers, and we're going to be able to scale. So I'm just averaging it out to $1 million a month, but within 10 months, we did that with My Doctor Suggest, and that didn't even start hitting pay dirt until the 3rd month. Imagine if I had the old copywriter mentality of give me money, I'll give you copy, I hope it works. And My Doctor Suggest ran the copy and it bombed. I wouldn't have that $10 million on my track record. It's because I do this that exists. What's scalable? 3-4 times ROAS consistently is scalable. And what that means is, like Sean Morrow was talking about this, he tested his messaging out on Clubhouse, and I actually listened to it in a room, and they completely missed the mark. What does it mean? Okay, they were saying, oh, well, no, business owners are more interested in building brands and having 100 million or 8-figure exits. Okay, we're speaking the same language, idiot. What we're saying is you have to incrementally, hold on.
Wait, was that on that day? Or did you go in again and listen to some other room?
That was the day that you were in the room.
Oh, okay.
You have to incrementally scale. So as I showed you earlier, we had like a 4 ROAS on one thing. But once you add more ad spend to it, then it comes way down and it has to remature. That's how you get to a sustainable ROAS. That's how you establish controls, beat controls, create more controls, and build 8-figure exits, if that's your so desire, or build a legacy that'll crush everybody in the marketplace if you just want a good ego jack-off session.
Yeah, so that guy didn't make much sense. He's like, we were successful scaling a company at 0.8 ROAS. I'm like, I don't understand the logic. If you can get 3 ROAS, then why wouldn't you?
You can do that.
Right.
If they wanted to put $1 million into this and just, level it out at 0.2 ROAS.
Right, because people rebuy the lifetime value of a customer. They'll make it back on the especially if you on the back end. But if you can get 3 times return on ad spend on the front end, why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
Like, why wouldn't you?
And that's where I'm coming from, which is I want to make sure that you're really getting a return on your investment instead of just, because if you're cutting your margins that thin, one bad week can ruin your month.
Cash flow, right?
Quarter.
That guy can get stuffed. Okay. Where are we on the Canva?
I had so much I wanted to say that. I'm glad I didn't say that. But first, what's the ideal way to test?
Yeah.
So this is just going back into kind of going over a few of the basics of copywriting. Interviewing, researching. Before you interview somebody, you need to already know more than everybody else in the room. So in this case, I was, talking about fibroblasts.
Yeah, Mark knows the anatomy of skin, how it interacts, how it changes.
I had never heard of that when I got onto this project.
Oh, wait. Oh, right. You had to dive deep into the science, and you were like, shit. Oh.
And it took me a few days to get a hold of it.
A few days, though. Not like a week. Not too long. Not
And, and then I'm able to start spinning it in all kinds of different ways: science, social, mechanism, hook.
and you're still doing your research now. I mean, you're going over all those influencers and gleaming little now the hormones, and you're adding it. The messaging is evolving and it's getting better. It's a constant thing. You're not just like, oh, research once, I'm good.
I mean,
No.
it really is just like a chef in the kitchen. You're just upgrading your ingredients so that your meal is more refined than ever. Your funnel is more refined and delicious or profitable than ever. Money speak. Make sure you and your clients have the same money speak. So again, this is an example of what somebody who's really trying to build a brand on cold traffic does.
Money, you mean, is he ready to spend the kind of money you need him to
Right.
make it work and to invest in infrastructure?
I'm gonna throw some people under the bus.
Is he gonna shit his pants at $20,000 spent?
I made that man millions of dollars.
And
He
he's
shoestring budget on Freedom Health Alliance because A, he wanted to be more anonymous, and B, he didn't want to really invest in it, which made all the time and energy I put into it not worth anything.
it's a really good product. They should buy that company.
One of the best products that exist, period, as a supplement.
He owns it.
Yep.
Yeah, he bought it from what's his face, the doctor, the inventor.
Well, I wouldn't say bought it. An example, if you have a shoestring budget, you're taking a month on getting something done that could be done in a day. All the websites that I showed you so far, all of those are done in a day, including long form sales letters. If it takes longer than that, and then getting it up and responding to data, right? Everything happens fast.
Right. And it's checked. There's no missing links. I mean, the quality is good, right, Mark?
Now, if I'm not incentivized, it's not worth my time.
Right.
I've already proven my worth. I can walk away at any time. I don't need to do this. Like, their investment in me, if I go away, it's going to make them money. Now, I want that back end money. I want, and personally, as a copywriter, I want a legacy. I mean, that's real.
And you also want that paycheck a few years from now, the mailbox money, because it just keeps on earning.
Now, launching a new funnel is like putting a new concept car in a race, like a NASCAR. You get that prototype built, you put it on track, you see how it performs. Now you're the driver. The business owners are building that car so you can drive it. And it's your job to optimize that car so that it performs. That's it. That's what all of this means. Now, if I just said that, would all the specificity hit home? No. The specificity is what makes this have more impact. As a copywriter, always think about that. Framing. That's why, again, right here, I spent all the time that I did on the framing, so that I make sure that I'm testing the strategies in a way that will likely be effective, or at least give me incredible data, that in combination with a brand new face and voice. And different leads are going to have a what if question. Hi, I'm Dr. Ram Stilfen.
So what you're saying is that you have this new variable, this new opportunity, the doctor, and you want to make sure that you're testing it as well as you possibly can to see if it works.
And then lastly, optimize without ego. Now, I'm a stoner.
You should have just kept smoking for like a solid minute. Not even. Can you please?
Thin skin, thick skin, that's not even what it's about. It's about wanting to connect with people in the most effective way possible. If I say something and you don't understand it,
it's your fault.
Pissed with you. I'm not gonna be like, damn it, Brandon, you're fucking stupid. I know it's me. Take that same approach to your copy. Or as I said in the past, be a Buddhist. Practice the art of unattachment.
Right.
Not emotional investment, not the passion investment, but the unattachment. That, I put all this into it. Let's see what happens.
Right. You're writing testable copy. You're not writing a winner. You're writing something that could work. If it works out of the gate, great. If it doesn't, fucking fix it. That's it.
So this is
Go to 4.
media buyers, just kind of a little take.
Yeah. Right. You already showed a bunch. So a ton of talking constantly. Is this the Russian ones or is this the main?
The internal media breaks down everything. So yeah, we have a new API. That's what I was talking about. Pixels only being fed 60% of the data.
Oh, these guys seem like they know their stuff. It took a month to get that API. Actually, that's pretty cool.
48 hours. This was yesterday. And today it's already better. That's why Gabby, the owner, was just like, oh, yay, you know, things are, and the amount of sales coming in that aren't even showing up. Oh my God. You know, and then he shows me his Shopify, all the sales that are associated with the YouTube conversions.
Right.
It's just like, holy shit. So if they were integrated, that's considered scalable. We just need to get it integrated.
Right. The data is just a little messy, but once they fix it, damn.
This is what it looks like when the other guys communicate. This is what they give me. That's it.
Really? CTR, view rates, CPM, a bunch of assholes.
If I were, why do you think I've been so handcuffed? This is the extent. This is an example of what a media buyer who is not capable of collaborating will do. And I had to circumvent them today. You know, I finally got that circumvention.
Yeah, why didn't you think to just ask Gabby to?
I did. He's not computer literate, so it's difficult for him. And so they, you know, anyway, the chain.
Jesus. Yeah, get them canned, please. You told me about this a month ago, and I'm like, that sounds fucked. You gotta deal with it.
He stood up and it was like, give it to me now. Yes, boss.
Next slide. Okay, a bunch of more data.
This is what I got this morning. When they were like, this is basically the best they can do in terms of giving us data, which is not at all true. But once again, you can see,
right.
You know, so some of the 1.08 is the highest ROAS.
Right. But that's because it isn't integrated properly with all the conversion.
Exactly.
And they're also doing those shitty tests, which aren't.
60% is not accounted for. So the actual ROAS, as it was calculated on the call, was 2.7.
Right. And they're doing those bad tests with the VSL to a full page sales letter. That's also in here, right? So stupid. We already went over this.
Infrastructure. You're seeing all the infrastructure. This is why I, instead of putting it before I got into the details, I put it after. So now you have a very good idea of actual infrastructure. This piece right here, where all the puzzle pieces are coming together in this little iPhone picture. I'm one of, you know, Alad is one of those pieces. Liel is one of those pieces. Gabby is one of those pieces.
The initial interview, you suss this out when you're talking to someone, to a potential client. You got to make sure that this is in check.
In this case, they own the factories, they own the patents, they own the ingredients, they have infrastructure that's a copywriter's wet dream.
Dude, you should focus on that patent angle, man. I've seen that work before. I feel like it could kill it.
Which I lost.
Wait, you what?
Which I lost. Now the money speak matters here, because if, you know, let's say, hey, I'm a client coming to you, Brandon, as a copywriter.
Right.
Yeah. So I got a new supplement, and I think it's gonna be really rad. I got it actually from this like company called
Ship Offers.
Offers. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude, you like know what's up. So I don't know. I mean, I hear it's like great quality and like whatever. We're just gonna slap on a label and get this shit out. What do you think, man? What, do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. What? How much ad spend do you have to invest?
So like, dude, you know, you got to tell me, what do you think? Like, I kind of first time doing this. I mean, you know, like, would $1,000 a month be good?
No.
Dude, like,
I don't think so.
Big budget or whatever. Just
do you have any media buyers? Do you have any graphic designers? Any videographers? developers.
We'll just find some shit on Fiverr. You know?
Can we stop?
You know, it's like you as a copywriter, you need to be set up for success.
Yeah.
You can write sometimes the best copy in the world that never ever gets seen because of dudes like this. Moving on. How much ad spend is needed?
Yeah, we just went into that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you have a couple $100 a day on multiple tests and you get to 800, 1,000 a day, you could do a lot with that. Yeah, it's going to be
So
slow.
1,000 a day. That's like around 30,000.
And really, you're only going to be able to test 2 things at a time because
The two creatives.
budget too much, and the more things that you test, the more budget you need to add to get any true.
Right. Well, you need to do very conservative. This is your highest probability test. Put the 2 best out there. 75% to social media marketing.
So this is the dog whistle language. This is
okay.
Knowing more than everybody else in the room. This is old stuff. If anybody's watched these, that you are required to immerse yourself in the research, in the interviewing. If they are the true experts, if they're not, then that's for you to take on. That's part of your job. And that's how you turn your clients' brands into the marketplace symbol for what they saw or satisfy. That's always the vision. Always the vision. You know, so I'm not going to spend any real time here. You saw different designs. Some of them are pretty, some of them are ugly. Don't get it.
I mean, I feel like Lavi has stuff really put together well, though.
They have their infrastructure put together, and that's why.
Well, and you're also feeding them good inspiration. Is that right? From other winning pages?
Yep. A whole new language. This is really important. You know, I don't. Every media buyer talks in a different way. Like some are really dry, some are secretive. Like they don't want to show you anything until enough days have gone by where the numbers average out. But you know, they hide, put things in cloak and dagger until they feel like they can give you substantial information. Report every day and give you the ups and downs and give suggestions on how to prevent a campaign or an ad set not performing. So there's lots of different ways that these media buyers communicate, and it's also good to have the owners off the call. A lot of media buyers are actually afraid of losing money in the first few weeks or even the first few months on cold traffic. Right. So they try to do that. I keep it all out in the open. I know when we're underwater. I know when we're in the black. I know when we're way in the green. I always, you know, I treat it as if I'm a business owner, and that's what business owners want from you.
And I guess, do you kind of manage, you set their expectations like, it's okay if we're not killing it out of the gate, we're going to make it work, we're going to make it right.
We're going to get to that. Constant checking in. If a media buyer doesn't constantly check in, don't wait. Now, I just told you the month-long journey I had with these guys in Eastern Europe. Finally, today it broke through. That was because I was constantly checking in until finally I told Gabby, you need to handle this now. I'm in. Ask a lot of questions. I'm constantly asking questions to a lad, which is our media buyer. I mean, our conversation, these are, you know, totally off of, you know, what's going on with even the owner. And he's giving me information that you know, is not anyway. So that's really important, to have a close relationship with the people running. Always manage expectations. So during the time that it hasn't worked, I've had to talk about, oh, well, Facebook, the iOS changeover is affecting everybody. CPAs are massive all over the place. Oh, it's coming down. Oh, everybody now is experiencing $200 CPMs again in the last week. Yes, this is across the board. I'm constantly managing expectations. Finally, the pixel's happening. Now he's happy. He's seeing all these sales. He's self-liquidated all of his investment in all of this. And now we're showing scalable potential. So I'm always managing those expectations. However, I'm also keeping him in this next slide in alignment with the big picture vision, because he is ultimately a chaotic, autistic-like visionary who is all over the place. So he always has to be reminded of this big vision when he gets bogged down in the day-to-day stuff. Yeah. Two sides of the same coin. Can you see that? Just like new
Yeah.
cause and mechanism, two sides of the same coin. So what are scalable numbers? Well, that goes back to 3 times ROAS. And that comes with scale. So you start, let's say 200, and you're doing a 4 times ROAS. Then you go to a 500. Then it comes down to a 3 times ROAS. Then you go to 800, and it comes down to a 1.7 ROAS. But then you let it sit for a few days, and then the pixel matures more, and then that ROAS goes up as ad spend maintains. So then you get more money, you get more ROI for the same amount of money. Then you start ramping it up again. It's very incremental. That's what it means to be scalable. You need CPAs that are keeping your ad costs down. Keeping it social is huge on both Facebook and YouTube, which means getting engagement, getting people to respond in the comments on Facebook. That plays a part in their account score, which will mean a huge part in how much they're spending on CPAs and the quality of traffic that they're getting.
How does this work on YouTube? Is it just the more they watch, the better it does?
And
right. Comments,
subscribe, follow.
Comments, subscribes. Oh, well, you're putting the videos on YouTube on the Lavi Labs channel, and they're watching it. I thought this was pre-roll. For pre-roll, it's how much they watch only. Okay.
So 50, 75, 100.
Gotcha.
Uptakes, those are your upsells. You want to get those over 20%. Now getting those up, and now our AOVs are the highest ever.
Right. And then on top of that, just pre-frame the subscription. Listen, always have, yeah.
So this is where the majority of our attention needs to be, in the offer section, because if we get that over 80% or 90%, then we're in the churn business.
Right. And Mark does this extremely well, where he pre-frames use. Pre-frames, you can use it day and night, use it on your chest area, use it on the back of your neck, and save on your subscription. He pre-frames all this, which of course increases the value to the company. Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
No, that's it.
Yeah.
So this is the first in a while. We're going to be doing 1 a week, and that's it. I hope you guys get a ton of value. And if you have any questions, please post in the group, and one or both of us will respond.
Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.